This is a very special video because it's one that most of you will only be able to watch half of. That's right, after 24 hours, we are deleting half of this video, never to be seen or showed anywhere again. And we're doing that because, like most Australians, we're little convict thieves stealing from the British Empire. That's right, Spiffing Brit, sitting on his pile of Yorkshire tea, has been hoarding some YouTube secrets, and we're going to steal one of them. But we have a very good reason for doing so. You see, we have a message that's very important to get out about our project, which is ending in 24 hours as well. And the last time we did a video like this, it destroyed the channel. So kick over your crates of Yorkshire tea, grab yourself a Melbourne latte. It's time to exploit the YouTube algorithm.
I should explain what the Spiffing Brit bit is. It's basically this absolutely diabolical experiment to mess with the YouTube algorithm where you take a long video that people watch half of, the average viewer retentionship, and then you use editor to basically cut off the back end so you have 100% of retention. It does funny things and puts the video out and shows more people. This truly is a diabolical scheme that only could have been thought up by someone with a British accent. Yes, that's right, we're gonna steal the Spiffing Brits bit. One, because we think it's pretty funny, and two, because the last time we did this for the Space Bears Kickstarter, it worked amazingly. It brought so much attention. It was fantastic until we deleted the video. We removed the video from our channel, which also removed the views from the video. So we went from lots of engagement and going through the algorithm to negative almost, and it really messed with promoting our next almost 10 videos. It was awful. You live and you learn. So we're doing it halfway this time. We're gonna take away half of this video. So really it would mean a lot if you just keep watching this video, you know, get us that retention factor, and leave in the comments what you possibly could have thought would be in the second half of this video, whether you saw it or not. But you know, don't actually spoil it because it's funnier that way. So either you're catching this video early and you'll be able to see our exclusive, very secret things that are gonna happen, and you definitely don't want to miss because FOMO is cool, right? Or you've missed it and you just have to speculate for the rest of your life. And now hand back to Dave and he can explain why we're going to all this effort.
Backer kit. Yes, our backer kit campaign, the Kindred of the Abyss, is finishing in just under 24 hours. And this is our last opportunity for us to tell you all about it and hopefully get your support and explain why it's important to us. Well, you see, the journey starts a fair few months ago where we were struggling quite a bit. We put a video out and we don't want to dwell on that. We've been working really hard to improve things in serious long-term ways. And one of the huge pillars of that project is to develop an entire miniature world and a line of products that we're super excited by, because if we can support our YouTube endeavor and how we make videos every week with miniatures and products we can sell in a world we can build, we can keep doing this for a long time and we can keep doing more quality, more exciting stuff, make cool miniatures, and it's something we're really passionate about. So the Kindred of the Abyss are our first faction for this wargaming world. They're a nautical themed bunch of minis and a really horrible lot of underwater raiders that come to the surface and ruin people's days. Now, when we pitched this campaign, we wanted to do it in a really responsible, controlled, and manageable way. We also wanted to make it really good value for money. So it is under $30 US to back this campaign, and now you are getting 8 individual units, as well as some amazing unlocked stretch goals. It's a lot of value. You're getting an entire army's worth of STL miniatures for under $30, which is pretty damn good considering some of the prices for STLs that we've been seeing lately. Now, as this part of the video is our last opportunity to tell you about the Kindred and hopefully get your support on them, we're gonna go through some of those stretch goals, what they mean, what we've unlocked, and kind of really enjoy what we've built together. Thanks to all of you who've supported it so far.
So initially this campaign was focused around 3 units. We had the squad of big giant ogres in diving suits. They do the heavy lifting, they hit hard. We had the Reavers, which are all close combat orientated, and then the Scourges, which had all these cool guns. Lots of harpoons, underwater styled rifles. And so our initial launch blasted out of the water and we immediately hit our 2 first stretch goals, which was a command squad. You know, you got the captains, medics, that sort of banner bearers, the binoculars and periscopes or whatever, that sort of vibe. And then we had a pair of, call them special characters, named characters within our own universe, the Bingus brothers. And creating things like this is something that we were really excited to do, so actually create characters within the world as well.
Yes, so the Bingus boys, those 2 brothers, were a really cool character set, and that leads into the next stretch goal we unlocked, which is artwork. So this stretch goal allowed us the resources resources to get Alicia, our in-house artist, to start to develop more art for the Kindred, because we're going to be putting together wallpapers that you can download and use, as well as combining them into a PDF with a lore supplement to explain a bit more about the world. We're really inspired by the wargames that we grew up on, like early Warhammer editions, and we want to create kind of like a more reasonable small scope version of that and release that for everyone. And the first of that artwork has already been completed with the finished piece of the Bingus Boys, these two brothers who sort of grew up a bit like the Dukes of Hazzard in the Kindred. Everyone was shouting, "Oh dang Bingus Boys!" And here they are now as grown-up adults, hunters and raiders, with Gus, the big boy, being a bit of a simple, gentle giant who doesn't really understand what's going on around him, but just does what his cruel younger brother tells him to. After the artwork, we managed to hit the next stretch goal, which was the Kindred Light Submersible. This awesome vehicle is going to have a whole bunch of options, and it's designed as a little micro explorer James Cameron style submarine that can then attach onto this frame of crab legs and guns and climb out of the water and terrorize people on the land. This is going to be roughly main battle tank sized and have all the options for you to use it as some of the more common armored vehicles in popular wargames, if you know what we're talking about there. But it didn't stop there. You see, the campaign just keeps getting more stuff that you all get included in that $30 pledge. With the Kindred Submariners. Yes, we had originally envisaged these as these underwater factions for our own game, but also things that you could use for boarding actions in space for sci-fi games, with these dive suits being quite multi-purpose. But we also love the idea of lighter infantry if people want to expand their forces into more generic or regular naval themed armies. It's not something I've ever seen done before, certainly not with the sailor scarfs and submarine woolly pulleys. And that's what these guys are going to have. These are our light infantry and submariner crew, not competent or skilled enough to use the dive suits. You see, one of the key prerequisites to becoming a Scourge or a Reaver is having the cognitive capacity to recall that you actually require oxygen to live, which is something not all of the submariners are capable of remembering.
And then after that, the next milestone that was reached was added dev time, which in our terms basically means time for Dave and the rest of us to sit down and actually plan how we can create a game or just future goals, future factions, actually develop the rest of our world and any mechanics we might actually want to incorporate. For example, we decided it would be really cool if we had some harpoon guns that could latch on to people for these guys and drag them in. Also stuff like bathyspheres for stealing people, throwing them in and taking them to the bottom of the ocean, stuff like that. But then we come to the next goal, which was the massive land sub, which was this huge amalgamation, as if we took the first little sub walker and turned it to 11. This thing is going to be immense. It was going to be 30 centimeters. It's going to be huge, absolutely monumental. And we thought that surely would be the end of this campaign. It would be the pinnacle of it all. And yet, we kept going.
Yes, we deliberated long and hard over whether or not the Kindred campaign would end there. We had considered reaching all the stretch goals as enough to make what we needed to fully realize this faction, get the time to develop it, and we were really happy with that. We were stoked with that. But what we realized is that there's more legs to this campaign, there's more room to grow, and people wanted some more things. So we decided, why don't we create stretch goals that really just enrich all the things that make us happy? And the first one of those stretch goals is actually cutaway art. I don't know if any of you grew up with it, but I grew up reading those Star Wars fact files where you'd have all the different vehicles from Star Wars and you have the cross sections and the engineering and the crew, and they're so cool. We've managed to find an artist we think is doing a fantastic job creating cutaway art, and we are commissioning them with this stretch goal to make some cutaway art of those two Kindred vehicles. The next stretch goal we have just managed to reach was for a bust. We've decided we want something for the painters that can really capture the character of our factions, so we can hire a separate sculptor to create the bust, which won't delay the completion of the campaign, but will provide something really cool and extra for everyone who backed it. But it is not where the campaign stops. We have a few more stretch goals and less than 24 hours. Depending on when you're watching this, it might already be over. And the one that a lot of people are excited for right now is the next one to reach, which we're calling the Zealot Pack. You see, a lot of people have backed the Kindred campaign wanting to use their models for different war games, which is part of the intent. And one of those war games is Trench Crusade. So if we hit the Zealot Pack, we're just gonna create some bits and bobs that you can glue onto your models that are kind of non-canonical for our own universe, but if you're using your models for Trench Crusade, you can use to make them feel more at home in the early 20th century. Bolt action rifles, SMGs, a whole bunch of little religious iconography you can glue onto your guys. But there's still two more stretch goals that we haven't reached.
Yes, indeed. At the time of recording, there are still 2 stretch goals that have not been fulfilled. The first one is just some fun scatter terrain. We want to do some buildings they're raiding or some more coastal aquatic style things. We've already tried an experiment just a little bit with this board where Dave created some bathyspheres that could be submerged in water. And then the final goal is to make a sort of a light walker, a bit more War of the World. So just a couple of legs here, 2 or 3, and it'll be that sort of scout mechanical mech. Basically, we thought it was cool and we could do it, and we wanted to make more stuff.
We are so thankful for all of your support and for getting the campaign to where it is. To be honest, the attitude around the studio has completely reversed over the last few months. This backer kit especially has kind of changed our attitude from nervous anticipation of the future to optimism. We're so excited with what we're gonna get to create, and we're constantly talking and thinking about all the cool things we're making now. It's a complete 180, and it's all thanks to you. And as Murray mentioned, any support this campaign gets, all of it is going back into A, supporting the channel, and B, developing the next thing, and developing this to be better than it already is, and then developing the Sister of the Old Blood, which will be the next faction that Jen does. And we're so stoked to make, well, any and all of it.
Yeah, it was a bit of a long shot. We basically decided, what if we actually just go and make what we want to make? Like, not even just with a YouTube hat. What do we want to make? And that's what we're doing. But it's not just the viewers that did this for us. It's also hugely thanks to all of our patrons. You've been a monumental backing support, literally, for us to create all this and just to keep us going. Mentally, emotionally, and physically.
And if you've got this far in the video, congratulations! You've watched half of it. Well, you've watched a good portion of it. And for those who it feels like the video is ending, well, I'm sorry. You won't get to see what comes next. But thank you for watching. It will hopefully be a reminder to put that notification bell on so you can be early enough next time to catch the full video. For when we next steal a Spiffing Brit idea. By the way, we love you, Spiffing Brit. Not that you're gonna watch this, but we respect what you do. So I hope those of you who this is the whole video have enjoyed watching it so far. It has been a bit of an ad. Please go support the backer kit. The links are in the description. But for everyone who was early and punctual, enjoy the rest of the video, as it will never be seen on YouTube again.